What's up, everybody? So, this is podcast number 14, because I haven't put 13 up yet, and I'm really lazy. So, today, this is Brock, by the way. Today, I have some new people with me that I've never been on before.
Howdy, I'm Phil.
Hi, I'm James.
And I'm Andrew.
I totally waved at this thing.
Yeah.
You can't see me, but that's okay.
I'll record it and put it on for you.
Okay.
Not really. So, I'm back at Purdue in West Lafayette, so different people are with me, and it should be pretty fun. Does anybody want to talk about anything to start out?
Yep.
Okay.
Philip has one.
All right.
I totally raised my hand, too.
Yeah, you don't need to raise your hand. Okay, go ahead, Phil. What do you want to talk about?
All right, so, as y'all probably do not know, since you don't know who I am, besides the people here with me, I actually failed out of Purdue after my freshman year, and I think that was honestly one of the best life experiences that I could have ever gotten without having anybody just tell me what to do, because for whatever reason I can't take anybody's word for anything. It's like at work I was an iron worker over the summer, and they'd be like, "Watch out, Philip, the hot metal is hot." And so Philip would be like, "I wonder how hot really is."
Was it like visibly hot, like red?
No.
Oh, okay.
So up to a certain
So you're like, they're fucking with me.
I don't know, but up to a certain point, hot metal and cold metal looks the same.
Okay.
So after a while, Philip just learned to just put gloves on no matter what.
First off, why did you come to Purdue? I forgot.
I actually wanted to come to Purdue because I know that I want to live somewhere in Texas, and part of my whole spiel with that is I don't want to just be almost corrupted by Texas, because Texas is a very proud state, and if you actually never leave Texas, you can become very narrow-minded. So I actually wanted to go somewhere completely else just to see a different part of the country and actually live in a different part of the country, because I've traveled a whole bunch of different places.
Right.
But it's not the same as actually being there for an extended period of time, seeing other people, listening to other people's opinions, all this kind of stuff. And college, number one, is a great place for that. And college in a completely different part of the country is even better, because I know me, Andrew, he who shall not be named, James.
He doesn't want to be mentioned?
No.
Oh.
No. And so we've even talked about this. Different in America, even different parts of the country are vastly culturally different. So I think it's a good experience to just go someplace else and experience life in a different place.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But, like, Indiana's, like, of all the states, Indiana is somewhat similar to Texas compared to others, right?
No, it snows up there, up in Indiana.
Well, besides climate, I mean, I don't know, ideologically, something? I don't know, it's somewhat similar, right?
Well, part of the reason I came to Purdue was because I know Purdue has a fantastic engineering program. The second part is it's, like, really in the middle of the country.
Okay. Yeah.
And so everybody, you draw a very good mix of people from America to this place.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. And so you definitely get to see a whole bunch of, like, we have friends from California, wear flip-flops all the time, which is weird. We have friends that are ultra-liberal, friends that are ultra-conservative, all this kind of stuff.
I think Purdue's pretty unique, too, because we draw, like, a lot of international students and a lot of
bunch of, can I say racist things?
No.
Censored.
I'm just warning you, I might edit that out.
Can you bleep it?
Yeah. Yes, maybe. But I mean, all of you guys are out of state, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All from different ones, too.
Yeah.
Except you, Brock. You're from Indiana.
I know.
Evansville, Indiana.
It's pretty sad.
Is that too much information? Because Evansville's tiny.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. What about you, James? Do you want to talk about anything?
Oh, I came to Purdue?
Yeah.
Pretty much the same reason as Phil. I mean, I came for different experiences. I mean, honestly, I could have stayed in Chicago. That's where I was, born and raised. And I love Chicago. Chicago is, by my opinion, the best city in the world. I'm sure, obviously, Andrew and Phil would like to disagree. But, obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Right.
It's Texas, by the way.
That's the best city?
Texas is the best country, to be exact.
He actually did give me a shirt that said my top five favorite states are Texas, Texas,
and motherfucking Texas!
Yeah, we're not motherfucking though. But yeah, I was pretty much caught between U of I and Purdue, And pretty much Purdue caught my interest because it does have a better engineering program than U of I. And it was just something that sort of get me out of the state, get maybe far away from my friends. Because the thing was, I was kind of like, oh, Chicago sucks for like a good while. Then I came to Purdue, I was like, oh, Chicago's not too bad. But West Lafayette is also pretty much just as good. For one, just having the fact that most of the city was based around Purdue is kind of nice because it's its own community. I know in U of I, it was like they put Urbana-Champaign in the middle, like they put school in the middle of nowhere. So it's pretty isolated. So I'm actually kind of glad that I went to Purdue. And I met a lot of cool people as well. Actually, Andrew and Phil are both from my BGR group. And not granted, all three of us probably didn't get along that well at first.
Oh no!
I remember that story.
Okay, so we're gonna be real for 5 seconds. Philip wanted to kill James for like the first couple days of BGR,
and Andrew wanted to kill Philip for the first week of BGR.
And since Phil wanted to kill me, I was kind of like, I need to be his friend.
It apparently worked too.
It did. I mean, you guys are here.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to tell a story about how you two, Andrew and Phil, actually started hanging out?
I like how Brock definitely pointed at us.
Yeah, pointed, because I want you guys to know I'm talking to you. Sorry, James, you can come in later.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so it was BGR. At the beginning, everybody's kind of like feeling everything out, right? Kind of quiet. Maybe not quiet, but just kind of, you're not completely out there because you're in a group of a bunch of strangers. So it'd be weird if you were all just honest at the very beginning. So Philip decided that this was like day 2 or 3. Yeah,
definitely day 2.
Philip was gonna, or I myself, I don't know why I keep on referring to myself in the third person, that I would just start, perhaps, that I would begin to put myself out in what I really actually do. And Apache licking his dick, which is Andrew's dog. And so we're playing this game called Pterodactyl, and the whole thing is you want to keep your teeth covered with your lips because if you smile, you're obviously showing your teeth. So you do these weird pterodactyl sounds and motions, and you just try to get the other people to laugh. And I think Andrew can explain this next part better than I can.
Well, it goes in a clockwise manner, right? So the person to my right, gives me this pterodactyl. I don't smile. No, it's not that very hard because it's kind of an awkward game when you first start off.
Yeah.
I turn to my left to try and pterodactyl to Phil and, make him smile, and I could do well in the game. As I'm, maybe 3/4 of the way around this half rotation, Phil just, at the top of his lungs and flails his arms and goes, like this, just randomly. And everyone starts rolling on the ground laughing, can't breathe. And I'm standing there, everyone's just either looking at me like, holy shit, that just happened, or rolling on the floor, can't breathe. And
so, mind you, at this point, Andrew's just like got the deer in the headlights look. Eyes the size of saucers.
I am fuming. I am so mad. I'm like,
why are you mad?
I was like, I was embarrassed. Like I said, I wasn't super mad yet, but I was so embarrassed. I was like, I'm going back home to New York. I fucking hate this place. I hate everyone here. Mommy, come pick me up, right? I can't spend another night here. I was the maddest I've been in a long, long time, and so embarrassed that I was just like, I want this kid to die. Almost, not really, but close to it, because that was just a horrible, horrible experience for my 3rd day at college. And then
I thought it was pretty funny.
After like a day and a half of not standing this kid, I go home, and home was where Brock was. We were living together. Yeah. So we're sitting in our room. Brock has a friend over. He decides, we want some pizza, right? And I was like, okay, that's fine, right? So we go through the motions of starting to order some pizza, and then Phil walks past, and I was like, oh, fuck that kid, right? And Brock goes, hey, you should invite that kid for dinner. He's in your BGR group, right? And I was like, damn it, Brock, why you gotta be my roommate? Fine, I'll win points with Brock, even though I hate this kid's guts, right? So I go over there, invite him over for dinner. He goes, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. We eat dinner, and then from the rest of that point on, we become best friends. I don't know how it happened, but complete turnaround.
So whenever he came over, were you like, oh, this guy's all right? Or was that just like, I don't know? After I think that dinner, it was kind of just, back on neutral ground.
Yeah, because I remember being in your room. It was me, Andrew, Brock, and 2 other random people.
Was it 2 others?
Yeah, there was 2 other.
Either 1 or 2.
There was 1 or 2 other people that I had no idea who they were. And after that, Andrew didn't avoid me like the plague.
Did you get any hints of this whenever you were Like, where you're like, this guy hates me?
I kind of got it after the game where he avoided me like the plague.
Oh, are you serious? You were really just like, I'm not talking to this kid anymore.
No, I seriously hated him.
Oh
the
my
first
god.
person you told, I was like, I can't stand you.
I was probably.
Oh, you told other people?
Even in my BGR group, I was like, yo, this fucking kid's a dick, right? And they were like, I thought it was pretty fun. I was like, no, this kid's a dick.
Did you tell like, okay, so there's other people in our BGR group, including some ladies, which are very, very nice and very pretty too, but did you tell like Pasek and Victoria?
I think I told Victoria because she was from New York with me, so
Yeah.
I think I found some confidence.
That's hilarious.
This kid sucks. I'm never going to Texas. These stupid red states have horrible people. I hate all these places.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. For those of you that don't know, which is probably a majority of you, BGR is like our freshman orientation kind of thing. It's like a week long, and we just meet other people.
Right, and it stands for Boiler Gold Rush, and has been nationally acclaimed to be one of the best freshman orientation programs in the country.
Yep. And we had the best group.
Yeah, we actually, most of our BGR group still keeps in touch.
Yeah.
And other BGR groups joined ours. Or other members from BGR.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we're so awesome. Or
He who shall not be named.
named.
And me. I mean, we were both in this.
Target Run. Oh, Meyer Run? Meyer Run.
Oh, you met him there?
Yeah, it was on our way back from Meyer Run.
Okay.
He and I were talking about, I don't remember exactly what it was, but, and then I found him the next day under the IU tree.
Oh, yeah. He always.
He was creepy.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
You guys pretty much hit it off right away. Well,
Censored.
Or poop. No, we'll edit that part out. He wasn't so much creepy as just quiet.
Yeah, I guess it was quiet.
And so he was actually on my floor.
Couple doors down.
Were y'all
Yeah.
on my floor?
No, we were sitting
No.
east.
No. Okay, but
Oh,
you were
yeah.
you were on the same level, just through a different door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so I remember him being on my floor, and Eric, the RA at the time, we had a meeting outside, and I remember he goes, "Can I have a knife?" And I was like, "It's to open boxes, right?" He's like, "No, I have a knife." And that's how we started talking, because we had this common interest.
Yeah. I mean, you guys and him, you guys have like really similar interests, guns and.
I think that's also part of the whole cultural thing that we were talking about, because he's from Tennessee and I'm from Texas.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
we're both pretty southern in our. I like to think that we're both pretty southern in our just kind of
And mannerisms.
yeah
and
mannerisms
interests.
and interests and just how we think and perceive things.
Right. So you weren't interested in knives or guns or anything before?
Well, I mean, I had a knife, but I wasn't like a collector like them too. I didn't.
Yeah,
have a
Andrew
really
had
expensive knife.
Andrew had a Walmart special knife.
That's
Yeah.
the best.
No, it was horrible.
So then they like converted you, I guess.
Well,
Into
I
the
had
interest?
no problem with them. I carried one
Right.
on me, but
Okay.
I never really looked into any of the higher end stuff. You know, the better steel,
Mhm.
the actual quality stuff. I didn't look into it until they actually opened my mind to it a little bit more.
Because everybody needs a good knife. No, it doesn't have to be big or whatever, but I think everybody should at least have a small pocket knife on them 24/7, just in case they need to open something. Or because how many times have you all found a situation, and it's probably not going to be that often, but if you had a knife, maybe not big, would have made the whole situation a lot easier.
Yeah.
I would think that like I just use my keys usually to cut things, like tape off of boxes or something.
Well, it
For
doesn't have
example.
to. Well, yeah, for example, but why use keys when you have a knife?
That's true.
But that one you had to kind of puncture it first.
Yeah. I don't
Or
know.
like those blister packs. Like, you destroy your hands. You'll get so many cuts on yourself if
Yeah.
you don't have a knife or something. Or
What is
scissors. Blister packs.
Sealed on the edge.
Yeah, and
Oh,
that
plastic?
hard plastic is flat on the back, and it has like this blister where the
Oh yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
I even have a special tool on my Gerber dime that opens blister packs.
How many knives do you have?
Hold on. I have a Kershaw Shallot, Kershaw Tremor. I have a Zero Tolerance 0400 Scavenger. I have Cold Steel Spartan. I have. Do knives and just knives or sharp pointy things too?
What kind of sharp pointy things do you have that aren't
I
knives?
have 3 tomahawks.
Okay, you can
And
count
axe.
those.
Okay, so I have 3 Cold Steel Tomahawks, the Trail Hawk, the Pipe Hawk, and the Rifleman's Hawk. I have an axe, a very old vintage axe. I don't even know what company it's made by, but it's really cool. It's dual steel, So it has a different seal on the front than it has on the back.
What does it do?
So you for an edge, you want something that's harder, that keeps a good edge, and then on the back, where it's connected to the handle, you want a softer steel that absorbs shock and impact.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of like katanas. They're very hard on the outside and very soft on the inside. That's, what is that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
It's 8 or 9.
8 or 9. And then I have my Spyderco Mantix 2 lightweight. Let's just say over 10, probably closer to 15.
Oh my god. I don't think I have one knife.
Nope. We can.
Okay. I'll go to Walmart and get them.
No.
All right. What about you, Andrew? Why did you come to Purdue?
I wanted to get away from home as far as I could. Well,
yeah, because menopause sucks. Okay? They made college at the time of menopause for a reason. My mom's totally going through menopause.
Are you serious?
Okay.
That's pretty
so not to interrupt Andrew.
I thought you were talking about Andrew's mom.
No. Andrew's mom is so nice.
That's a little bit strange.
Okay. So like I said, Philip actually failed out of Purdue after his freshman year, and so for a year I was with my mom during her whole menopause thing. And okay, so I love my mommy, but I don't love my mommy when she's going through her menopause hot flash, mood swing, yell and then cry and then yell some more while she's crying, kind of thing. So if you're in college away from home, be glad.
So all of you guys wanted to get away from home?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I kind of did too.
Because part of the whole growing up process is being
independent.
Yeah.
Well, not only independent, but making mistakes and figuring out what you actually need to do as an adult.
Yeah.
Because if you always have your mom and dad there, then you're just going to fall back on them.
So do you think that if you live at home during your entire college, like you just go to like a university or like a community college or university near your home and you just live at home with your parents, do you think you don't have as much of a learning experience?
Less prepared for
less prepared, and then I would, honestly, if I was taking my school closer to home, I'd try to take advantage of my parents as much as I could because it'd be cheaper.
Yeah, that's true.
You also probably wouldn't try as many new things either, because then you have like
your comfort zone's already there.
Yeah, your comfort zone's already there. Whereas here, you pretty much have to not so much force yourself to try new things. Like honestly, before I got to Purdue, I was like, I don't have to talk to people, whatever. But then I got here and said, you know what?
I find that hard to believe, James.
No, that's actually entirely true. I was like, I don't really want to. But you know what? I'm gonna try to make as many friends as I can. So I went around. It was nice.
I think you succeeded.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I'm glad because it really helped me open up a bit and try new things like the whole thing with the knives. Honestly, I didn't even think I needed one until one day after meeting Philip and did I just say his name now?
No.
Okay, so Philip, he who still shall not be mentioned.
Can we call him K? Let's call him K.
Agent K.
Agent K.
Okay.
Yeah, Philip, Agent K.
I could be Agent MJ. You don't remember? No, okay, never mind. They sent him to the Arctic to sign a treaty with the penguins?
Yeah, I remember that.
What?
That was number 2.
Men in Black?
Men in Black 2.
Oh, okay. I guess I haven't watched it.
I could be Agent M.
I hate y'all.
Have you ever seen Men in Black?
The first one.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one.
I saw this is the second one. Well, Andrew doesn't see that many movies either, which we'll fix that.
Philip watches even less movies than Andrew.
Oh.
What's wrong with you guys? I don't watch movies. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, James. So you think that you agree with them then?
Yeah, definitely broadens your horizons and like leaving your state.
So since you had to go back home, Phil, do you think that that you didn't learn as much that year as far as like life experience wise?
You mean the freshman year or the year?
No, last year that you were at home. So since you weren't here, you didn't like gain as much life experience.
I gained so much more life experience. If anything, I had a lot of fun my freshman year while I was here at Purdue, but I didn't do anything academic wise. I skipped all my classes. I didn't do homework. I just did all the fun stuff like ballroom dancing, which is really cool, by the way. Everybody should at least try something crazy, because you never know. Yeah. And after I failed, it was honestly like a slap in the face, because my parents, since we live out of state at that time, my parents shelled around $30,000 or $35,000 for me to fail out of a school, and I didn't tell them about it It was a couple days before I had to go home where I cried and called my parents and told them that I wasn't going to be back, and that hurt. That hurt a lot. Okay?
What did they say to you?
Come back home and we'll talk about it later, basically. Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole thing that they were really pushing was, yeah, you made a mistake, a pretty bad and expensive mistake, but as long as you're capable of fixing it, then they'd support me. And so another thing that I think really helps me in this situation too, that I didn't really understand or maybe appreciate as much as before, is that my parents actually come from, or maybe not come from, but my dad actually makes a decent amount of money, decent enough to where I don't get FAFSA money from the government.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And on top of that, I don't need to get any student loans or grants or anything like that. My parents can just pay for my schooling. So with me failing out of freshman year, without having to pay any loans or something like that, just makes it coming back so much easier, because we don't owe banks any kind of money or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys want to talk about this, but do you guys have to take out a lot of student loans?
Yeah.
My first 2 years, I had 501 stuff, student saving plans that we start, when you're around when you're born-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you just save up over time.
Mm-hmm.
My parents actually are not a lot of debt, but they're enough debt to where I did qualify for quite a bit of government aid.
Okay.
But aside from that, Purdue sort of, they took quite a bit too long with my financial aid information, so I didn't get as much money as I did. But in the end, though, I was pretty much at the point where I was like, whatever, I'm going to this school regardless of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what a lot of people from just going out there is the whole financial aid thing, which is something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But overall, I really wanted to go here. I knew exactly what I was going to do. It's not like I was going here. It was kind of, sort of between like, I might want to do this. I want to do this. I knew going here is like, I want to do either mechanical, now electrical. I want to do electrical engineering. I want to work in robotics or whatever. But if I was even supposed to slightly unsure, I would not have been here. But
yeah.
For us financially, I have actually taken out quite a few months for this.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one reason I didn't even consider going to a private college or out of state, because it's just so expensive. I couldn't imagine doing it. So.
Right.
Because it's like 35,000 for here.
No, it's closer to 40,000 now.
17,000 a semester for tuition.
Wow.
Yeah.
It increased too.
Yeah,
it was
about
3.5% last year.
It's 3% every year.
3%. Okay.
It was 35 when it was almost 35. No, 38 when we first got here. Now it's like in the 40s.
Yeah, I think this year, after everything, including tuition and housing, I'm going to be paying closer to 40 or 45,000.
I paid 45. I paid 43 last year, so
really?
You'll definitely be on top of that.
Okay.
And you're in the aero program, so don't you have to pay like?
Yeah, and engineering too.
Engineering fees, you have an extra.
It was like 1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They increased the fees too, which sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I get my money's worth out of it. I get a ton of aero labs.
Yeah.
And I get an extra.
Yeah, I mean,
printing.
he's getting a new building.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I get a lot of stuff too, because we're both in the Armstrong building, right?
Mm.
That's where we're housed. So.
What do you? Oh, you're
MSc.
materials.
Second floor.
Second floor.
I
I'm third. Okay.
I almost joined you in that one too.
You were gonna do MSc?
For me, it was between mechanical and electrical, but material science was kind of one of those. Oh, that actually looks kind of interesting. And it had small class sizes, which was great. But then overall, I was like, I really want to do robotics. I mean, I've been doing robotics since I was in third grade.
Really quick, I just to add this. As an aero student going to Purdue with one of our graduates being Neil Armstrong, I just have to put my condolences out real quick right now to his family, to everything, and it's a sad day today at Purdue because of his passing. So that's my responsibility.
Moment of silence. All right. So that was one of my topics I wanted to ask you specifically, but everybody for sure, since you're an aero student, do you feel, I don't know, more affected that he's an alumni for us and an alumni for your major, or?
If I had never come to Purdue, I would have been like, oh wow, yeah, this really important guy that did a lot of very important things passed.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. But yeah, once you're in Purdue and you're in the same program as he was in, you really feel it because you read books with examples from him. he's done presentations here before that I've listened to and that I've watched on video, and he's donated money. He has wings. He has a whole building named after him on campus.
And a statue.
And a statue.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be tough. People have met him. People are friends with him. He comes to campus.
Yeah.
And he says he doesn't want to be a celebrity. He just wants to be a guy that did something important. And that's how people saw him. And he was a friend to a lot of people on campus. And a lot of people are feeling very upset about it.
Yeah. That's one thing that I didn't really know about Neil Armstrong. I didn't really know that much about it, but after he died, like I saw a few YouTube videos that people made, and like one big thing about him was that he didn't want to brag about it. Like he didn't want to. He was offered like sort of like government positions afterwards, just because he was on the moon, and like political positions, things like that. And he's just like, no, I don't want to. This is an achievement not just of me, of mankind in general, of the United States, and it's not me that did it, it's all of us. He had a really diverse background. He's really well educated at Purdue, and then he is also really humble. He didn't want to brag about everything.
Yeah, that's something that I think just the world in general needs more of. There's everybody. I think it's almost kind of sad that someone always has to be on top or number one. Mm-hmm. And while that makes sense in the kind of society that we live in, if you're not on top or number one or at least pretty good, then you're down at the bottom, not doing well.
Yeah.
Be it in forms of sports or your job or your income. While that's really it's kind of we need to, but at the same time, I wish that people could just take a step back and help each other a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
That was actually one thing I really liked about the engineering department at Purdue. Well, for probably stick to the same subject about Neil Armstrong first off. Being a first robotics, we had a competition a few years ago that was, you might have remembered that the anniversary of the moon landing, obviously it's every year, but I think one of the major decades was a few years ago during my high school, and I was working on one of the projects at the time, so I'd actually do some research up on Neil Armstrong as well. So just hearing about his passing, almost got to meet him, but I was sick at the time. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot of stuff, especially with kids.
Yeah, he's done a lot of charity work and stuff too. So.
Yeah.
But as I was saying about the engineering department at Purdue, the fact that when you're in high school, when you're going to college, they teach you about, the world's very competitive, they're going to eat you up, and college, you're competing against all these other students. Whereas here at Purdue, in just about every program I've been in, everyone's been helping each other out. Even when there's points where we have to maybe compete against each other, no one's really just stepping on anybody. They're just kind of saying, "Oh, hey, well, yeah, it's competing against you, but you really you could use some help," so they'll help each other out, or they'll give each other better tips. So there's still that competitive edge that makes push people want to be better. That sort of pushes innovation forward. You have to make progress, but at the same time, there's still they recognize that they still need to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has to do a lot with we have so much school pride that
this is also true.
When you have so much school pride that when you come to the school, you're generally here to stay, even if you have circumstances where you fail out, you come back.
Yeah.
And that means when you're staying in this school, whatever program you're in, you're going to be with these people for at least 4 years. So you don't want to make any. You know you're going to be with them, and just inherently you should help these people because they're going to be helping you down the line.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where if I really needed help, people would just not help me.
Right. I think that's one thing this school definitely offers is a lot of external help from other students, from professors, everything. Yeah,
one of the things I always told my parents and my friends about Purdue that I like the most is all your teachers they post their office hours and you can actually go talk to them. One of the other really great engineering schools in this country also happens to be in Texas is A&M and UT, and their class size are 1,000 plus. So there's no way that professor can talk to everybody. He might have office hours and he might be there, but if he does, there might be a whole line in front of you before you can even potentially talk to him. All that kind of stuff. Right. But also, I do think that maybe this has to do with our majors a little bit too, because I'm thinking before I had to go and talk to somebody. Originally, I was going to do chemical engineering, so I went and talked to a professor in chemical engineering about it, and I was asking him
So do you see like the students compete a lot? Do you see the competitive edge where people are competing more than they're trying to help each other? And he said he actually does see it quite a bit. So I think it might have to do a little bit with our majors, but it does have to do with our school atmosphere as well. And another thing is pharmacy. That's another like really competitive area.
This is true.
Yeah.
And probably nursing as well. Just like really competitive things where you have to apply to get into like a graduate school or something like that.
Even undergraduate studies, you have to be.
Yeah, you have to apply to be in pre-pharmacy too.
Mhm.
So yeah,
No, biomedical, you have to interview just to get
yeah, in biomedical engineering, you have to do an interview. You have to, like, I was talking to a few people that had to do that, and they just some of the things they had to do was kind of crazy. Like, they just put them in a room and they gave them like 10 minutes or 30 minutes or something. They're like, okay, try and find as many common household items that can be used as medical devices that you could use in an instant. And it's just like they wouldn't train. Like, I don't know, if just from your first year engineering, you don't really learn that. It's just you just have to kind of think about it.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah.
all the people that watch a lot of TV, like,
Yeah.
oh, I know.
Just MacGyver this shit.
Exactly. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the Mars rover landing. Did you guys?
Most expensive disposable camera ever produced.
Yeah.
While it does
really
take
nice
amazing
pictures.
pictures, but we're never getting it back.
True. But it's supposed to be up there for a few years, right?
Yeah, a few years
Yeah.
of amazing pictures, but it's still disposable.
Well, was that a few years they planned? Or do they, just because like the other rovers, you know, they're supposed to last 30 or 60 days, and they can last like almost a year, the last rover. So, this thing, if it's projected for 3 years, say, it could really last a decade.
Or it could just be a hot pile of shit.
Or it could break down tomorrow. And you're like,
Which would suck.
What's
So what are they gonna do? Go up there and fix it?
Which, thank you very much, that's aerospace engineering. When you're up there,
Sure.
who's going to fix you? Nobody. If you're civil, you got buildings, people can climb on it. You're mechanical, it's touching the ground. Aerospace, we're fucking hard.
Electrical?
We go hard all the time.
Okay, but who makes your stuff work?
We do.
We do.
Well, who's going to fix our stuff? Nobody.
We do.
No, when it's up there? Because that's where it's going to be 90% of the time.
Alright, well, you have to send someone up there.
No, we can't.
Oh, you can't. Well,
That's what I'm saying. We got to make stuff that lasts.
oh yeah, ion propulsion, electrical.
But electro's not going to propel me.
How do you think they got it up there?
Rockets.
Ion propulsion. Once they got up in the sky, they used ion propulsion to get it to Mars.
what are all these things made of? Materials.
Oh, shit. Damn, no.
I win.
And we need you more than anything because we have
Yeah.
such tolerances you can't find.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
We need batteries more than anything.
Yes.
I know I'm totally getting off subject, but we have the technology to make computers tiny. Okay? But our battery technology is such that we physically can't. Like, we can fit a computer on a watch, but we'd have to carry around a backpack full of battery.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true, yeah.
I think it's funny that conversation I had with one of my smithing or forging professors. No, shit, I lost my train of thought. Never mind. Oh, yeah. Nope. Got it.
Nice.
It was such a good point. Damn.
But did you guys like watch the Mars rover thing at all, or
Yes,
like
I did.
really? You did?
No, I
No?
did not.
No. Did you guys really care about it that much?
I did.
I was a little disappointed that the camera cost that much.
Oh, yeah.
Billy, you're so Asian. It costs so much. Why do we even do that? We could have just sent a Polaroid up there.
Pony mail that shit back, too. Russia sent a dog up there. We could fucking send a horse.
Why?
Pony Express mail.
Oh my
Polaroid.
God.
You know,
Oh,
Rover
That's
back.
all the way back
Oh
here.
my god.
Like, hey, jump.
So that's pretty interesting. You didn't pay attention to it at all.
Not all that much, no.
You're an arrow.
I'm aeronautical more than aerospace.
Okay.
Not that that's a very good excuse,
Okay.
but
I think it's a fantastic excuse.
Wonderful.
Well, not like the reason I didn't really dive into it as much as a lot of people did is because we have a lot of problems here we have to focus on.
Yeah.
Mars, ooh, look, we may find bacteria. That's life. Awesome. Now what? I have no idea. We have shit tons of problems here.
Because we still can't get a person up there.
We could potentially move to Mars and forget all our problems on Earth.
No,
That's
my
true.
God.
No,
Yes.
that's terrible.
Life works that simply.
Yeah.
You can forget your problems when you
We just get a new planet.
No, wait a second. Before you even go to Mars, wasn't there plans for a legitimate moon colony?
Yeah, there still are.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't know.
There still are.
why are we even thinking about this when we have like starving kids in America?
We send them all there.
Like, look at the starve.
The moon is made of cheese. They will not starve
they
on
just
the
keep
moon.
eating.
Yeah, but then the moon's gone. The gravitational field's all fucked up.
Oh, we don't need to think about that. We'll put a giant
just the
satellite.
tides are going to change a little bit. That's it. That's it.
Who needs tides? Like, really?
I don't know. Do you, sir?
No, I don't surf. No, we'll be fine.
What about all the surfers?
They can get
Oh,
artificial
They're
surfing.
hippies.
Yeah.
GTFO anyway.
Get a real job.
So that's like Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Because Hawaii's like, what is it? Their job rates and their economic growth is shit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my
Is
dad
everybody
recently
surfing?
went to Hawaii and he said that the bums there are like no other.
Yeah.
They like cover the beaches.
Really?
Yeah, like there's not a bench outside that doesn't have at least one or two hobos on them.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there aren't a bunch of like natural resources, right? I mean, what are there really that many?
Water? It's all over that place.
Are you kidding? Sorry.
No, I'm not. It's an island. It's surrounded by water.
Oh
Got it.
Oh my god. So everybody should be a fisherman then? Is that what you're saying? Like, what could you do with salt water as a job?
Make it into drinking water. Desalination plants.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah, and how are they going to make them?
This kind of stuff.
Out of water?
Very carefully, dumbass.
Materials.
With materials.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah,
Not enough materials, my horse.
You know, that's how the guy who introduced himself for the presentation for materials. That's how he introduced himself. This table, that camera, that iPod that you're not supposed to be on, all made of something.
Yeah.
That's my job. God damn.
Yep. But anyway, back to Mars thing. So you watched it.
Yes.
Did you feel like it was like a big accomplishment of mankind?
I feel like they could have done a bit more, but as far as getting something up, what?
They sent a goddamn robot to Mars.
We could have made a
pretty
bigger
up
show
there.
out of it. We could have some
Fireworks on Mars.
No, we can see from here, right?
Could have done something more.
Well, like, overall, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I want to do that one day. And then I think about, my uncle did one day. But, now I know my point was. The fact that, the whole thing about battery, like, let's need this stuff to power stuff. The fact that we were able to send a man to the moon using only transistors. And now we're in the technology, like, silicon, we're going, like, we're going against Mars, which, yeah, it's pretty far. But you think about, like, how far, like, from what they had, they got to the moon. And all this new stuff that's coming out, we can barely go to Mars.
Yeah, I can see what you mean there. Like, because like the big thing they say is like they made it to the moon with technology like inferior to like the common calculator. That you
Yeah,
have.
exactly.
Yeah. So and
Now we have
can
calculators.
yeah, we have supercomputers and all this stuff, and it's like we made it to Mars. Like, I don't know. I guess I just didn't see it as like people were talking like, oh, this is amazing, and I guess I didn't really see it as that big of an accomplishment.
They needed fireworks.
They needed fireworks. If we could see the fireworks from Earth too,
That would be pretty.
that would be the best thing ever.
Can you imagine?
I would have been excited.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been such a shitty disposable camera.
I'll see a firework from Mars. You know how far it is? Boom! That's a big explosion.
Oh, I have one more thing I want to talk about. Okay. So, so the first 2 years, Andrew and James lived in a residence hall. So how different is it? I know it's only been a week, but how different is it living so far away that you have to drive, but living in your own place?
Well, I mean, driving is your last resort. You can always take the bus, which is where.
Oh, there's a bus that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We purposely went for a location that had a bus route.
Okay. How often does the bus come, by the way? Is it
Every
like
30
minutes?
minutes.
It's supposed to come every 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're pretty unreliable, honestly.
The 5 is not horrible. The 5 usually comes on time in the
Last
morning.
time I got outside to take the 5 back home, it was 20 minutes late.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah, later on in the day, you're bound to be at least.
okay.
At
The
least
last bus
20 minutes late.
that me and
Censored.
Oh, well,
who? The last bus
Are we gonna call
that
him Poof?
that me and Agent K got on was packed out of its mind. Okay.
Yeah. Was it full? You couldn't get on, or?
No, it was full like I
Standing
couldn't
room only?
breathe without
Oh,
someone's
shit.
like ass cheeks smothering my facial orifices.
Okay.
When you buy a car.
Which is when I, like, okay, so Philip was supposed to have a car, but it died. End of story.
That's a good story.
Okay. Back to the point at hand.
Okay.
Res halls was good because you could wake up 20 minutes before class, throw on some clothes, and get to class.
Which I actually did.
Food was hot and ready for you whenever you wanted it.
Arguably.
Arguably.
So Brock didn't like the dining courts, but I don't have a problem with them, and it's a buffet.
They had chicken.
Wow. And, James,
Did
if y'all didn't get that, James is black as hell.
Did they have watermelon sometimes?
And Kool-Aid?
I was excited when they had watermelon. They don't have it that often.
It's true.
True.
I'm not a big fan of Kool-Aid, though.
I don't know. You can have a buffet of food, but if it's shitty food, I don't want to eat there.
But it wasn't that shitty. Like, yes, it was mass produced, but it was all same day made. It
So
wasn't
Brock is
prepackaged
entitled to
bullshit.
his opinion,
That's true.
and opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got them, and they all stink.
Right.
Yep.
But I honestly, the only problem with residence halls was there were so many rules you had to abide by
That's
when
true.
you're in the actual building. And because all these people are living with you, you know, there was the constant chance that someone else was disturbing you.
Yep.
In any way, and if you wanted to go somewhere else to study, someone's probably there already.
Yeah.
In your own house, you know, you have your space, you have your dedicated space in your house. Yes, you can't wake up 10 minutes before class and head to class, but I think you need to live on your own just to experience the independence.
Yeah, I think living in residence halls the first year is like a good idea, just
Yeah.
because it's like that intermediate step between living at home and living independently.
Exactly. Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, you still have all those rules. You still have an RA. You still have a bunch of people that are basically kind of tell you what to do.
A bunch of Chinese people starting fires in the kitchen, which happened again.
Always
All the
in the
time.
way.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
Dude.
last year we did like four times. We got kicked out at 3 in the morning.
Oh, yeah. I remember
In the
your statuses.
rain.
I didn't know that was
Yeah.
the reason.
Twice
Oh,
in
it
the
was
rain.
Asian, and then once it was Indian. Fine, it wasn't the Chinese all the time.
And we
They
weren't
were
that bad.
foreigners.
We actually were not that bad.
Still a goddamn foreigner.
But they just like,
Still
I forgot
burning.
you can't leave plastic on the stove when it's cooking, and then it burns, and then everyone gets woken up in the rain at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That one, the very last one we had, I stopped the fire like a few days ago. Because one of them had left like potatoes in there. Just left them in there. And the oven was on. I was like, I smell fries. Walked inside. I walked in the kitchen, like, there's nobody here. So I opened it up, I was like, oh, they're potatoes. It's kind of black. And I walked out and said, hey, does anyone want these potatoes? No, not really, no. I looked right at the Asian people and said, do you want potatoes? Are these your potatoes?
Do you want potatoes?
And like, nope. So I took them out, put them on top, left them out, saying, left unattended, therefore removed. I turned everything off.
Should have just taken them and eaten them. I would have done that.
Burn them.
Well, you said they were black, right? Like burnt?
They were they were burning. And that was,
Take the skin off.
Yeah, I guess. Still. But in the residence hall also, you only have like a little kitchenette area, right?
Well, in Meredith, you have a very small kitchen.
yeah, a lot of places.
It depends on the hall. I mean, no matter what, you're sharing a cooking space with
Yeah,
a lot.
and it's not
Yeah.
necessarily in a convenient place either. Because
No.
like ours was in like the basement.
Yeah.
So that was pretty shit.
We lucked out because by living in Meredith, especially freshman year when we had that blizzard, we have Boiler Crossing, which is a small market downstairs.
That is something nice.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, so it's kind of like when we had to hibernate. There was no problem, all our food was downstairs, and then we could cook. We had ingredients, and we had a kitchen that wasn't too far from us, and just Meredith itself was pretty much central for just about everything.
Yeah, Meredith Hall, which was the dormitory that we were in, because I was with them this freshman year, or that freshman year that it happened. It's very central within campus. It's almost in the middle of the entire campus. It's nice.
Yeah. But the rooms are like the second smallest on
You're
Yeah.
living in a closet,
Yeah.
basically, and you're sharing a closet with someone else, which is the worst part.
Yeah.
Unless you have a chill roommate, unfortunately for me, I did. My second
First year.
roommate, my first year was awesome. I always get stuck with gingers, for the record, for some reason.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Your first roommate was awesome.
My first roommate was awesome,
Yeah,
except
he
for
was.
things that I will not mention.
I think his
On
name
this
was
podcast.
Wait, what?
Is Mr. Mittens.
Mr.
I
Mittens.
mentally lived with this guy named Mr. Mittens.
And the first during the freshman year when I was with everybody, I actually basically lived with Mr. Mittens and Andrew for
Good time.
a decent amount of time on a tiny ass couch.
Yeah, a little
And the one thing that upset me the most was Mr. Mittens had to change the layout of the room like once a week.
Yeah, every week. It was like, oh, I'm sick of this. Can we move shit around? Like,
You could've said no.
I have so much shit
You
in
could have
this
said
room.
no. Why did you just say no?
Because I was trying to be a good roommate.
Oh, come on,
Not
dude.
gonna lie, I thought
Just
that
say
was your
no.
idea.
God damn.
I didn't even really live there, so I
Bullying
didn't
is
have
not
a voice.
consent.
Flirting is definitely not consent. Because I've had ugly people flirt with me and it's like, no.
Yep, you sit on CTA.
Why did you just say so?
I didn't mind that much.
Okay.
No, that was more of a
The biggest problem was moving everything.
Yeah.
And moving everything out in the back end. I didn't mind changing the layout, but I just had way too much shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had your guitar,
You had your
amps.
amp.
I know, that was too much.
I think we both had a lot of stuff though.
Yeah,
But we also lived in closets, so.
We also lived in closets, that's completely true.
mine was with that bad. I quite a bit of space. But also pushed everything outside of the wall.
We tried to. We just had too much shit.
Yeah.
You'd have more
We
space
also
if
had
you
a
locked
couch.
Yeah.
That took up a lot of space.
He locked. Well, that's right. We also bunked our beds now.
it.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah, so we pretty much had that whole half the room opened up.
No,
Yeah.
but like the reason why I think your room felt like it had more space is because you bunked it and had no couch.
Yeah.
If you had a couch or a futon, it would
It
definitely
would have
felt
been,
smaller.
felt a lot smaller.
Yeah, I mean, we did have those bins in there that.
We also put the bed over by the door and had that fort at one time.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Connected, we put sheets on top of the two
Yep.
beds. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
It was nice that they always kind of overlooked that one time though. You tried to put it in front of the window.
Also,
Alarms.
for the record, not alarms, for the record, Meredith Hall, for 17 years, never had an RA fired. And then me and Brock moved in, and our wing, in specific, had 2 fired in I guess it was 1 year, not 1 semester.
Yeah, so it was only like 2 or 3 months apart though, right?
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
It was over 2 semesters, but it was only like
We had
First
2
RA,
RAs.
first RA was really cool.
He was cool.
Second RA was like he was like a walking douchebag.
Yeah, no, Nick.
Yep.
Nick was a douche.
What's
Ken-
I don't even know the name of the last one, honestly.
Ken?
Ken. Okay.
Ken is still there.
Yeah, Ken was my RA for like
This
a week.
year. Yeah, until he moved out, yeah.
Yeah, no, so he didn't get fired. I just moved floors.
We had
Yeah.
2 fired.
Yeah.
And then
Do you know the reasoning for both of them? The first one was
First one was
drinking.
apparently he was drinking and didn't just go to his room like he was
Yeah.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second one.
sexual harassment of another RA.
Was it really?
Yeah, he was.
I thought it was that he was smoking in his room.
stalking the shit out of Paige.
That's
Hey,
fucked
She's
up.
the ugliest
Hey!
RA.
Oh god, she's a bitch too.
Well, that's why he got fired.
Oh man.
He
when
was
she did,
really pushing physical interaction with Paige.
Throw his hot dog down her hallway.
Did he just?
He was just being very, hey, when are we gonna go out, right? You and me, and he was just being pushy with her. And that's not right as an RA, especially to another RA.
Yeah.
No, especially like to anybody. That's gross.
Yeah, I think it would have been worse if it was to a student.
Yeah,
I guess
absolutely
that's right.
worse.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
We're memorable. 17 years and we break a record.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember what it was now. Every time an RA got fired, they take us into the basement.
This is the best part.
They take us in the basement and they'd say, "Look, your
Sexually
RA
assault
got
us.
fired. What do you guys want to do from this point?" And it was always pizza party.
Yeah.
Let's have a pizza party.
Okay.
Bdubs one time.
Or bdubs, yeah.
I remember I wasn't even part of their floor, and I went to their basement,
Yeah.
their basement meetings. I'd just be like,
That
And then Andrew hated you all over again.
The what?
And then Andrew hated you all over again.
So it was like, "RA got fired, pizza party. Here we go."
Yeah, that was pretty nice. And they even said if you're not in, was it Southeast 3, leave, and you just stayed there.
Yeah.
If you guys are not Southeast Street,
I'm
please
pretty-
leave.
I'm
This
pretty
is
much
only
here.
for Southeast Street.
Yeah.
Looked at him. No one gave a fuck.
Nope.
Free pizza. Awesome.
Exactly. The thing that I was going to talk about though was how I don't wake up to alarms. I thought you were.
Oh
you
my
had mentioned
god.
that.
This I have had the honor of living with people that die when they sleep. So, alarms can go off for, let's say, 15 minutes before anyone realizes. Well, I realize. I'm awake and staring at the roof, hoping that one of them will wake up out of their fucking coma to turn off the alarm.
Not happening.
But God forbid that ever happened. I'd have to throw pillows at Brock, shake his bed, whip him with the covers from across the room. I wasn't getting off that fucking bed. That thing was lofted. I wasn't getting off that thing. So I'd try any mode of...
should have made a boarding ladder.
I should have just... But
we did have like a pseudo ladder for a little bit, right? Connecting the beds. You could climb
There was like
across.
a board, but that was just.
Oh yeah.
with the hook and alarm clock.
Oh, I remember that.
So it was either Brock who would not wake up in his sleep,
Nope.
or Phil who would wake up for a second, shut off his alarm, and go back to bed for hours on end. So you'd be waking up every 9 minutes by this kid who was still asleep.
Yeah.
He was sleep shutting off his alarm.
One thing that you do, Phil, when you sleep too, is you like look at your phone. Have you noticed that at all?
Yeah.
he's on his phone while he's asleep. He's like on the internet if you have it. I don't know if you do, or you're texting. I'm not joking. You're like looking at your phone the whole night.
You read those comics or whatever.
What comics?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking
read
about?
those
Yeah,
anime
I
comics or
watched
something.
times and watched it.
Yeah. You don't know. You've never done that.
And every time you wake up, like if someone comes downstairs, you wake up for a second, check the phone, read a little bit, fall asleep again.
Yep.
It's just a habit now that you have to look at your phone at every inconvenience of sleep.
I guess I learned something new.
I thought I told you that before. But
Also,
yeah, you're on your
I
phone
don't
all
know
the
what I
time.
talked to myself.
Brock has had like 2 or 3 nightmare things where he's
Oh.
woken up saying very loud gestures.
Do I really? I
remember one time in particular, we were dead asleep. This is maybe 3 o'clock
Was
in the
Phil
morning.
here too? Was Phil
No,
there?
Phil was not here at this
Okay.
point. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd be asleep. I hear Russell and like Brock going, blah, blah, blah. Right? I'd wake up, I'd look over at him, and one time, as scary as it may be, he sat up and said, "Fuck you!" Right? And I was like, "Oh my god, what just happened?" Right? And then he would sit up and he'd be like, "Ah!" Alright, Patchy. Alright. And he would just yell in his sleep and then fall right back asleep, have no idea what happened.
Oh my god.
Like, it happened maybe twice. I mean, he mumbled in his sleep sometimes, but and he talked every once in a while. I think he might have been a tooth grinder for a little bit,
Probably.
but besides that, it wasn't all bad. But college changes your sleep schedule so much. One time, I woke myself up screaming. I had a dream where long story short, I had a dream where my friend got stabbed, and her name was Victoria. And as she was getting stabbed, in my dream, I went, "Victoria!" But I also sat up and yelled Victoria at the same time and woke up myself. Which is very odd, but just have your roommate be aware of your
I mean, honestly, like people don't usually know that though. Like I didn't know that I did that.
I didn't know you didn't until like
Okay.
the second semester.
Tim told me that I talked to myself.
Maybe vaguely. I've heard of people tell me I did that before.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was like years ago too.
That was years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Fun times.
I guess I just read shit in my sleep.
You're an intellectual. One thing I also hated though was lofted beds. I really don't.
You didn't like
that.
that? You didn't have a rail.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
true. That fucking
Couldn't
sucked.
do it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, but I hated lofted beds because you could climb up to your bed. Like I don't know that just climbing up to your bed and being really high up and not having.
And then
power,
Brock
I guess.
insisted of jumping off his bed every morning and half breaking his knees every single day.
This is true.
He was like, "Should I take the ladder?
No,
I should just jump off this fucking 6-foot bed."
What's the fastest route? Jumping off the bed. Gravity is
Rolling
there
off
for a
the
reason.
bed. If you have to jump, you have to position yourself.
Gravity
Just
is
roll
the
the
fastest
fuck
way.
off.
Gravity is the fastest. If I gotta climb down that ladder in the morning, fuck no. That's 10 minutes before I have to get to class. I'm jumping down.
But like, he'd jump, and every morning he'd be like, "You alright?" He'd be like, "Yeah, just give me that." Like, damn it, bro. Take the fucking ladder. It's there for a reason.
Honestly, I probably wasted more time like recuperating. Probably should have thought that.
No, last year, my lemon pledge, I was sitting there and I went on a cleaning bench because I was, not too good. So I was like, I actually need to do some work, do some of my hands. So I cleaned out your room, right? Cleaned everything, even the floors. And I completely spaced and lemon pledged our floors because I wanted a nice shine, right? And then Doggy, that shine is covered up somewhere. So apparently it was about wax layer on the floor. Guess what I found out? Roommate walked in, boom.
Yep.
Here we go. No, not Tim. This was last year.
Oh.
Tim almost died too when he walked in.
Oh, the roommate that you didn't really talk to that much? You
No.
didn't talk to your roommate that much, right?
Not
He didn't
last year.
talk to anyone that much.
Okay.
Yeah, if you saw him, you saw his back. You didn't know what his face looked like.
What?
I don't know why I'm facing away from it, but pretty much you get the idea. You didn't know
Yeah.
what his face looked like.
One time I just remember I came over to your room because we were doing HBZ.
Yep.
He's playing some game. We left for 4 hours, I think. We came back, still same spot,
Yep.
playing the same game. It even looked like the same map. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, those maps don't change that often. I know, I found out.
Yeah.
But, no, one morning, still in the flesh. And now, you have to understand, my roommate is much bigger than I am. Which isn't saying much. I know I'm really saying, but no, he's actually bought me this our refrigerator. And the thing is, one time.
So the refrigerator might be 4.5 feet across. Yeah,
What?
maybe 5.
What?
He's pretty big.
Wide?
Yeah.
That's about a 3
Yeah,
foot wide.
three. I'd say 3.
Nevertheless.
Well, this was a fat motherfucker.
Nevertheless, this year, as opposed to the bed's bumped, he lofted his. I had mine just regular, just because I fallen out of bed before. It's not fun. nevertheless, I'm sitting there, and I guess he missed a step and was falling straight at me. Now, I was scared, not gonna lie, out of my mind. I was like, oh my god, James! He's falling in slow motion because, when you're about to die, they see your light flash before your eyes. I was just like, oh, this is gonna hurt. So he's sort of falling, and then finally, he kind of caught himself and nearly flipped his loft over. I was like, oh
shit.
Oh god.
Almost shot a brick. And then another time he slipped and fell on the floor. And the thing is, I was like, oh my god, are you okay? Spaced again. Got up, tried to help him, slipped straight across the room. Don't let him touch your floors.
Yeah,
Don't push the floors, James.
just don't clean. I think that's a moral of this.
Well,
yeah.
They tried that when we were decents.
That's one thing, Andrew. You never cleaned our room ever. You remember
Nope.
that? Sometimes you just
And then
throw
you play
shit
off
on the
my
ground
dog seat.
just in spite of me. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Brock was
You were
like,
just like, hey, Brock. And then you just throw your wrapper on the ground. I'm like, fuck you.
I remember that.
last year,
Yeah.
me and my roommate got in this. He knocked down my trash can, right?
Oh, I remember
Oh,
that.
yes.
Oh,
I
wait,
remember
what
that.
happened?
shit. He knocked down my trash can on accident.
Okay.
And he goes, oh, that's your trash. I'm not going to pick it up.
Are you serious?
And for like 3 weeks, I had tissues and wrappers and stuff all over the carpet. Because he refused to pick up the trash can. He knocked down.
That's even on his side. Like,
Yeah, it's between our beds.
It was in between the beds. So
well, still, but he knocked it over. Right?
He knocked it over, and he's like, I'm not touching the tissues. You pick it up. And I let it sit so long that come move out day, I was moving out before him. So no matter what, he had to clean that stuff up. That's how long it's at.
That's
It was
awesome.
like before, dead week before, like the last couple weeks of school. It was there, and I moved out first, so he had to clean that shit up.
It was before Grand Prix.
It was before Grand Prix was right before Dead Week, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of people.
That's
did
how it
not-
is
Last
every year,
year
though, right?
sucked.
It's not supposed. It should be 2 weeks before.
Oh.
You should have a week in
Yeah.
between Grand Prix and finals week,
I
or
didn't know
Dead
that.
Week.
Yeah, Grand Prix week, Dead week, and then
No, you should Grand Prix week, last classes week,
Empty week.
and then
Dead week, and then finals.
Yeah.
But they put it right in between because they ran out of time or some shit.
Yeah.
So I had a horrible Grand Prix week last year.
I did too. I got sick the first half. I had so many plans, and then
I know you have so many plans, and it's like, fuck you, Purdue.
Yeah,
Put a week so that we can do fun stuff.
on my phone I have a list because like last year, my first, mostly freshman year, I went on this network with people. So I now have a list of names. I just say, oh hey, there's a party. Can I put the names on the list? Boom, send out item. And I keep in touch with my contacts so that way not a dick and just like, haven't spoken to him forever. Then finally a month later, hey, what's going on? So nevertheless, that's pretty much what I did. So Grand Prix week, I had all this stuff set up for people, and then I got sick, and then the last one of the frats, they decided the temperature had dropped by the end of the Grand Prix week, so a lot of parties got canceled.
And it rained, didn't it?
Yeah, it rained out decent, and then they decided it was now a dry event isn't that bad if it's warm at least, but it was cold, jacket weather. It was a dry event, and I'm thinking you're not even serving regular drinks like sodas or whatever, so it was bad.
So a lot of parties were canceled on Grand Prix week?
The last weekend of Grand Prix week before Dead Week.
Yeah,
That's
Unfortunately, yeah. It was not a good Grand Prix week. Hopefully this week will be better.
Yeah, barely salvaged decent.
Phil, what are you doing? No, I'm just kidding.
Masturbating.
Freshman year was awesome though.
Grand Prix week?
Yeah, freshman year had a
Okay.
really good one. I was out every day. Those are nice.
I don't think I did anything.
No, I took you guys all to 85.
I remember Gigi wanted to take us out to Crows, and we're like, the rape house? Yeah, you go on your own.
I thought we wanted to go to
Well, she came back and she was like, yeah, it was okay. And we're like, yeah,
I thought
don't
the rape house was Triangle.
Triangle.
Well, there's Triangle. Crows could be close to it. Triangle is. It depends on who you know at
The
Triangle.
recovery.
If you're a girl that just comes into Triangle, you can plan on getting
Ruthie.
maybe roofied.
Is that the roofie house? I thought it was some other house.
No,
No.
that's Triangle.
Triangle is okay if you know people in it that are very close.
No, otherwise they're just gonna.
Otherwise, you're taking a chance. You're taking a risk going to it. But otherwise, completely off topic.
Yeah.
Still technically off topic. Oh, so
What's that?
if we're gonna go back to topic as far as living off campus, it's actually not too bad. I mean, one thing about living on campus is if you have get-togethers and you can't really do it. You can't be too loud in your room. You can still have like little fun. Like we actually were lucky enough to have a pretty decent RA last year.
Yeah, Spencer was awesome.
So cool.
We had get-togethers every maybe 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
have people over for a couple hours, play some good music, have some fun in the room. But
Cool.
One time he and I were both walking. He had his duffel bag. I had another bag. All of a sudden, he hits the door. It goes clink,
clink, clink, clink. A
Looks,
whole bunch of bottles, and we're like, keep walking, keep walking.
and it's not just looked. It's like, so that was pretty much the end of the interactions. He's like, yeah, you know what? I know what goes on in these rooms. As long as he doesn't see it, and your door's closed when a tour group goes by, or when anything's out, you were good. So
I scared the shit out of a lot of tour groups those last couple weeks of school.
oh, those guys in their
Come out
cars.
generally naked, yelling things at my roommate.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, no, tell me.
Like, so I remember one time, and we were having an argument, not an argument, like we were having a little debate back and forth, whatever. And then I opened the door, like, nah, man. If you had condoms, you'd have to clean them up. And I turned around, a large father, a small daughter, and many other small children are standing there looking at me. And the tour guide is like, please look over here. And I was like, oh, sorry. Like, meanwhile, like, I'm almost kind of clothed. I have like boxers on. I'm about to go to the bathroom real quick. It's the morning time, and they decided they wanted to have people just walk around. And then
You think they'd like warn you or something?
No, they
Just,
don't
but
think
did that
they
happen?
don't.
No. And then I kind of stick my head back in the room. I'm like, don't come out yelling profanities. I close the door and continue. He looks out the window. He was like, oh, fortunate case.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wow.
That happened on multiple occasions. Not that exact wording, but a couple of times we had close calls with tour groups.
That was
And y'all didn't get like any kind of trouble for that?
No.
I mean, they can't. What are they really gonna do?
Also, one more thing. The worst, I think honestly the worst part about living on res halls is the smell of other people that are not hygienic. Because you can't, you ahead of time, you don't know the people.
The Chinese people.
The
And the Indians. Fucking smell like curry.
you
Raunchy,
know
nasty
what?
body odor curry.
I wish that people would keep personal hygiene very, very at the front of their minds. But I can't say that they do because we had some smelly people on our floor. We had one of the smelliest floors, and if you live in a place with carpet, it's going to cling to that
Yeah, I was
carpet,
gonna say.
and it won't go away.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys?
We got the
We had the
smelliest
carpet
floor last
lane
year.
and the smelliest floor.
Yeah, which is like, oh, you guys are all dirty. It's the carpet. You can't do anything about it.
Breeze that shit.
I did. I walked down the hall with
on
Febreze.
multiple occasions.
Just you guys or like the RA?
Myself,
No, like
him, Joe.
people in general. But you come out and Febreze outside their door, air Febreze or fabric Febreze. You can't beat it. People just are unhygienic, and you can't.
Yeah.
You get a freshman bomb.
It wasn't that bad freshman year, was it? I don't remember that.
No, it wasn't that bad. We didn't have carpet either. And on the third
we
floor,
also
people's
didn't talk
windows were generally open all the time. Too.
Yeah.
And we also didn't talk to our neighbors that much. Like last year, we definitely knew all of our neighbors. You probably talked to your neighbors more than I did freshman year.
Freshman year? Who did we even talk to on the floor freshman year?
Not many.
We
talked to people outside of the
the wing.
floor. Yeah, or outside of the wing, sort of.
I guess he was
Bill?
technically on your full floor. Because you were the door. You were right before his door. So. But I know Tim and I, we had a bunch of douchebags on our floor freshman year.
Douchebags.
Oh, that one kid
You
kept
guys
breaking. We had the highest floor charge freshman year.
How did
We had $1.27.
Yeah, what'd you have?
Like $2. Because someone kept breaking the mirrors. We knew who it was too, but I'm not gonna mention.
We've had a couple cops get called though on our.
That is true. I remember
people
that.
Smoking or people with stuff that shouldn't be in the room.
Yeah.
I remember freshman year, there's a guy named George, okay? Super cool guy.
Censored.
Oh, he used his last name.
No. George Jinky Face.
In case you didn't keep that up, please.
And the ambulance comes, right? And we're like, what the fuck? And then a couple days later, George is like, hey, y'all remember the ambulance that came? And we're like, yeah, George, what's up? Do you know? It's like, well, I thought I was having a heart attack, so I called the ambulance. We're like, what the fuck? And then apparently at either the same time or very close to the same time, someone got so drunk they drank antifreeze and they had to call the ambulance.
Yeah.
What? They got so drunk they drank antifreeze?
Yo,
Antifreeze
is sweet.
I've never.
That's why animals drink it too.
Yeah, like dogs and cats drinking.
And they had to call amber lamps, and I'm not sure if they pumped his stomach or whatever. But then I also remember one time I was on James's side of the third floor, and I was visiting him. I needed to go to the bathroom, so I go to the bathroom. I see their RA there. I didn't like that RA that much.
He was a dick.
But whatever. But I saw him, and he looked really serious. He had his arms crossed. And he was on the inside of the bathroom, and I was like, Mitch, what's up? And he's like, he just waved it off, and so it's like, you can go to the bathroom if you need to. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I start walking, and I see this kid just like he's swimming in the toilet bowl, okay? Like he's trying to drown himself or something. But obviously he was just drunk out of his mind in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week. And all I remember is the guy would be like, ow! And we should be like, what? And the kid would be, I don't know. That happened for the entire time I was peeing. It was, oh, goddamn. People!
I forget, is it a rule that you can't be drunk in the residence halls?
No, you can't.
You can't.
Okay.
You can't have alcohol in this.
You're right, you can't.
Because they can tell you what to do outside the residence halls.
That's true.
You have to go home at some point.
Right. I don't know if it's like you needed to go straight to your room or something.
As long as you weren't rowdy and you went straight to your room, yeah.
Wasn't George, didn't he get kicked out or was it somebody
No,
else?
George is still here.
Oh, someone did get
You remember that?
kicked. Who was it?
It was. I thought it was for alcohol.
Someone did get kicked for alcohol. I can't remember their name off the top of my head now.
I couldn't. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it wasn't George though. George is great.
Was that the same guy that came up to the door whenever we had Kim Kardashian outside? In a poster?
Oh, I remember that.
And they said, oh, you can see straight through her nipples.
Yeah. We were like, damn, X-ray vision. Straight through her nipples. I think that was George. Yeah, that was George. George came up and was like, I like your poster. And we were like, oh, thanks, George. He's like, yeah, you can see straight through her nipples. Right? And I was like, damn, you're Asian.
That's
George is
pretty
pretty cool, though.
George is good people.
All right, I think we should probably wrap up. Does anybody else have any story they want to say before we're done?
Not really, but thank you for putting me on your podcast. I know I wanted to be on this for a while.
Yeah. There are many more to come, right?
Yeah.
All right.
There's no holiday edition. Oh, also, we need to figure out what we're going to do for the holidays.
Unrelated business.
No, it's kind of related.
Unrelated business.
I'm glad all of you also got a glimpse of Apache that one time when he came yelling and screaming.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I told you he isn't allowed on the podcast.
You have
What
to
do you
edit
do?
him out.
I'm glad I'm black. Yeah, we have so much stuff.
I'm glad I'm from Texas.
I'm glad
What are you
I'm
grateful
from
for, Andy?
Indiana. Not really.
I'm glad I'm Hispanic. We get some shit.
Central American?
Mexican? Just kidding.
Peace
Okay, I guess that's it. See you guys later.
out.